Hi everyone, Leanne from Cake and Eat at 3, and today I'm here with Michelle from Walking 2x2.
Hi everyone.
Now the hiking community in Western Australia in particular is really tight, and I came across Michelle because she is the author of the Capes Guidebook, which is the Cape to Cape hiking trail in Western Australia, which we are doing very soon, and amongst other online resources available as well, Feed the Hike, which is all about dehydrating and eating well, and basically mind, body and soul, isn't it? It's everything.
Yeah. Sustaining yourself for a hike.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
The whole package.
the whole package.
Yes.
So Michelle has done a lot of hiking. So I have done a lot of day trails. I've done Machu Picchu Inca Trail, but that's it. So you are like to me in the hiking world. And you will laugh with me when I struggle through the Cape to Cape next month with walking on sand day after day after day. But knowing your absolute amazing experience with hiking, what's some tips that you might give someone who is new to hiking or going to take on their first 5-6 day hike?
To be realistic. That's the main tip, is to be realistic about what you're about to do. Be realistic about what your capabilities are. Don't try to put yourself in a position that is unachievable for what your body is because somebody else can do it. Yep. You have to look at what you are capable of doing. And that way you're not going to be disappointed and less chance of causing yourself an injury. And you'll probably enjoy yourself a whole lot more.
Yeah, we definitely always are a big one for safety first. Safety on any trail or any travel in general actually has to be at the top of the list. But also what Michelle discusses in the Feed the Hike is actually proper preparation. So that is really important when you plan these sorts of trips. So these are available on their website, walking2by2.com. So please go on and check them out. Also, of course, there's a fantastic YouTube series at the moment that I've been following with great interest on dehydrating. So having done it for so many years, used different dehydrators, Michelle's able to sort of show you what you can, what you can't, best practices, things that have worked for her, and creating really interesting meal combinations, which, you know, we're all going to get sick of noodles on the track, but you can actually make some really healthy, nutritious and yummy hiking food. So that is fantastic. Now, if you were picking a menu, what would you recommend as a great breakfast option? Because breakfast, I must admit, is the one I'm struggling with.
Okay. And I often say to people, you have to listen to what your body needs. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, just a mum.
Yep.
But I listen to what my body is saying it needs. Now, and I often say on my videos, and I've said in the book, I'm a protein person. So my body functions using protein over carbs. Whereas my husband is a carb person. He's better functioning with more carbs. So you have to ask yourself a question, like for any meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch or dinner, what works for you? Now, some people can go out and eat oats for breakfast, and that really powers them on. You know, it gives them the fuel that they need, and they do really well on it. A person like me, oats doesn't work so well. I eat oats, and literally an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I am dying for more food.
Yep.
My body has already chewed it up, and it wants something more. So I have to look for more protein options. So that's always the first thing I'd ask when you're looking at an option to have for breakfast or dinner or lunch. What's going to work for your body and what your body personally needs? So the best way to do that, say for breakfast, what do you normally have? What do you normally have for breakfast?
Vegemite with avocado on toast.
And how do you feel?
I'm fine with that, but I would prefer to have fruit, but I know that that's not an option on the track.
It is. If you dehydrate your fruit, it is an option. Now, what I have for breakfast, and this is a stock standard, typical breakfast that I would have on the trail, I would have rice with mixed dried fruit, dehydrated fruit, nuts, chia seeds,
Oh wow,
and protein powder. all
Sounds
mixed.
good at any time, let alone on the trail.
And that fuels me through till lunch. I will stop and have a snack about mid-time between breakfast and lunch, but the snack is usually something small, just to nudge myself along till I get to lunchtime.
Yep.
So that is a typical breakfast for me. Yeah. So I've tried to cover everything. I've got my carbs with the rice.
Yes.
Okay. I'm getting the nutritional value out of all the fruits, the protein, and the nuts. Everything that I need in the fruits, the nuts. Getting the protein from the protein powder, and So use your imagination.
Yep.
Open up your cupboard. If you've got cereal, you have cereal every morning. Like say you have cornflakes, for example. Okay. Put the cornflakes into a zippy bag, but then add in extra. Add in some chia seeds, add in some nuts, add in some fruit, dried fruit. And if you don't have a dehydrator, get the dried fruit from the supermarket. Add it in.
Yep.
And
basically be creative.
Be creative, and you will have a far more nutritional breakfast that's going to give you that up and go and keep you sustained, because that's what you need. You need to be sustained. And we're losing everything.
We are. We're out down at Whiteman Park today in Western Australia, and we've got ducks that are trying to join in for the video. We've got
train
tooting behind us.
But isn't it beautiful
It
here?
is.
It is absolutely
Lovely.
gorgeous here.
And I didn't even know it was here.
Well, there you go.
Yes, I'm learning already.
So if you're in WA, come to Whiteman Park.
That's
a great
true.
place to come.
And
especially
bring the
with
kids bathers.
Yes.
There's a water park, a water play area. So breakfast sorted. Sounds even more amazing than my usual breakfast at home. Lunch.
As I was talking to you earlier about, I often have soup for lunch. Now people would think, oh, soup for lunch, no. A lot of people don't want to stop and have that moment where they heat up their soup and eat it.
Or more gas. I'd be trying to save gas, so that's probably my first thought, not to.
But it only takes a short moment. You just got to boil up the water.
Yeah.
So, and that's the amount of gas that you're using.
Yeah.
And I use lunchtime as my time to just stop and look around and see where I am and what's around me, and I really enjoy it. And that's when I see more animals.
Yep.
Is when I'm to stop. I'll stop for a good hour, sometimes an hour and a half. Some people are known to stop and have a nap.
Yep. Sounds good.
I know if I have a
I don't
nap,
think
though,
Brett will let
I
me get
would
away with that.
not be getting back up again. So yeah, I would often have soup, and I would have crackers, which by the time I get to the crackers, they're broken from being in my pack. So I just sprinkle them over my soup, and that gives it a bit more volume in the soup. And the soup often would be a vegetable soup with a noodle, preferably. So
I've been looking at, Brianne and I have done a lot of day hikes and everything, and we've had Vita Wheats with the iron 4-bean packs, like tuna packs or whatever.
They are brilliant to take out on the trail.
Bit messy, but we're taking disposable bags to tie everything up, make sure we take it away, leave no trace.
Yes.
But we've really enjoyed those, to the point where we would have that at home if we were at home. So
tuna sachets I take out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that is another go-to, and of course Vegemite.
Okay.
Yeah, I love my Vegemite. It really, sometimes I'm not that hungry at lunch, so I would have Vegemite and crackers.
Okay. You don't take butter, do you?
I never carry butter.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I had gotten myself into the habit of not having butter, just so that when I'm traveling, I don't have to worry
do well
about
with
it.
you. She doesn't do butter, but if I had crackers, I think I would need butter. But it's all a balancing act, isn't it? And you've got to sacrifice some things to enjoy the hike more, and to give you the nutrition that you need for the hike.
The nutrition is the main thing. You know, you really got to think
day
about
after day. This is not like a daily hike. You're going to get home, have a shower.
No, well, that's it. You're not going, when you're on a trip on a trail for a week, 2 weeks, or a couple of months, every day you are out on the trail. You're not going home, like you said, having a shower. You're not sitting in that lounge chair and your body's not relaxing and recovering. So it takes a lot more to recover. So you've really got to look after your body and, feed it what it needs, so that you can get up and walk again the next day and walk in comfort. Walk with your body has the energy to continue on.
Yeah.
So if you're one that's going to take,
Strong-mindedness can only get you so far.
it can, and 2-minute noodles is a favour for a lot of hikers.
Yeah.
And
I watched a
unfortunately,
documentary on them and now I can't touch them.
no, unfortunately there is nothing, there's no nutritional value in them whatsoever. So I would never recommend that. So
Not
think
even
about
fully
it.
digestible, but that's
No.
another story.
Yeah, yeah. I think people would be horrified if they knew exactly what it was they were eating.
Scary stuff.
So,
All right, and dinner?
And dinner, okay. I've got a few favourites. Creamy porcini pasta.
Oh la la.
I know. If you watch my series, you'll see that a lot of my recipes have porcini mushroom in them, because I'm a porcini crazed person. I love the flavour. I love the taste of it. And I love mushrooms in my meals while I'm out hiking. They just give you so much. And another one, pulled pork.
Oh yes, I saw one
pork.
of your YouTube videos on that, on pulled pork. Yes.
So, and that's a really easy one to do. I mean, all the meals that I make for myself out on the trail are meals that we've eaten at home.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I've been thinking as well. And with my first delve into dehydrating, which I don't know if it's quite successful yet, so let's not get too carried away until I trial it on my family in the middle of a 6-day hike and see if they make it. But as far as carrying it all, do you, how many kilos do you think you would carry on a normal, like the Cape to Cape, on a normal, like through hike?
That's a hard question to ask me because I carry a lot of camera gear often.
Okay.
So that pulls in the weight a bit more.
Yep.
But if I was to bring it back to without all my camera gear, I'd probably look around 14, 15 kilo.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It can vary. But then again, if it's I'm going in winter and it's really cold, I've probably got heavier gear.
Yep. 100%.
So it can
all relevant.
boost. It's all relevant.
Okay.
And I carry all my food, but a lot of my meals I keep to around 100 grams and under. Quite often they're below 100 grams, they're between 50 and 100.
Yep, my family meals that I dehydrated, I tried to make them at about 300. So that sounds
about right.
Woohoo! I did something right. Good to start with some positive in there.
Yeah, so a lot of people want to know, what weight do you carry in the food? And I always have the 100 gram is my go-to number.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a little over.
Yep.
But other times it's way under. It depends on what I've got in there. Yeah.
Like it is hard, isn't it? But I mean, when you're on a through hike and you have your dinner, you sit down after a 24k day and you get a beautiful, cooked with love meal, it's all worth it.
It is worth it. And, and then you're going to bed and that food, that good food that you've put into your body is doing its work.
Yeah.
It is healing and repairing everything.
Absolutely.
And so when you get up the next day, you're ready to go.
Yep.
It's like a friend of mine had said, she's done many walks, and she said, it gets to the point in the day where you're so tired and you don't know how you can go on. But then you have a good meal and you go to bed and then you wake up the next day and you feel great. And
the first few days might not sound like that on my next adventure, but I won't be filming that bit. Yeah. That's right. If there's reception,
my ears will
I'll
be
burning.
Like,
But very good advice. So basically, the bottom line of that is planning pays off.
It really does.
So
it really does.
And in the comfort of your own home, and having a big baking day or dehydrating day, or it's enjoyable.
It is enjoyable, and you know what? It really doesn't take much effort. I have a lot of people say to me, oh, I couldn't be bothered. It's too much work. I was making pasta because I like to make my own pasta as well.
Wow.
I'm
going hiking with Michelle.
A friend came over and he saw all my pasta drying, and he said, "Did you make that?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can buy that stuff for like a buck at the shop." I said, "But it's not the same.
No comparison.
You cannot compare it. And in actual fact, when you break it down, it actually costs me less to make it."
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a fresh product.
Yep. I did a fabulous
there's-
cooking course in Florence.
There is
making,
nothing in it
tagliatelle.
that's harmful to me. There is
Yep.
no preservatives or
And the
anything.
taste.
And it tastes
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's very special. Who wants to come hiking with Michelle? We'll sell tour tickets. You cater? But you have to do the actual kilometres.
Yes.
So, okay, so when you go hiking, what is a must-have on every trail? So, aside from food.
Okay.
So, we've got our
E-herb.
food. Oh, okay, we're taking a PLB.
Yep.
Um,
Personal location beacon.
Yep, which is just a GME. You can pick them
Yep.
up at like BCF or Anaconda or any of those. And pretty much the reason why we picked that was because we already had that. So we, being full-time travellers, we believe safety is number one. So we have that. We have our rig registered on it, our boat registered on it, the Hilux registered on it, and it has all our personal particulars. And if anything happens and that gets sounded, they know how many people they're looking for.
Yeah.
And whereabouts to
It,
find you.
to me makes sense. You know, safety first, because you want to live another day to have another adventure.
Absolutely.
And you know, so when you said what's the most must-have, I didn't even let you finish that sentence.
No,
It
no,
was
that was
like, I know the first thing that is always packed is my EPIRB. It's in
Yeah.
my pack. It's available for me to use if I need it.
And that's not a weight issue.
It's
So,
not a weight issue. I don't
Yep.
even consider it in my weight.
Yep,
It's,
absolutely. Must have.
It's a must-have.
Yep.
There is no questioning that.
Yep.
You know, if I wanted to cut out weight, I would probably look at more of the luxuries, like my prickly ball that I carry,
Ooh.
which weighs more than the EPIRB, but I carry it because to me it's my luxury, but it also helps my body
Yep.
recover each
Yep.
night. So
All this recovery required and everything is making me very nervous about what I'm going to be like. But the other thing I think too is the more and more that you do through hikes, and even on your first hike, the first day might be painful, guaranteed. The next day is going to be in recovery and
the
painful. but-
second day, you'll feel it more.
yeah.
Yeah. You'll
She's
go through the
selling it.
first day, the second day and the third day you'll feel it more.
Yep.
I know even for me, if I've had a long period where I haven't hiked, serious hiking,
Yep.
and then we go on a trip, day 3, I feel the click. It's almost like I hear it. And my body goes from, oh my God, I'm going up this hill to, wow, this is great. You know, it's a click over.
Uh-oh, that's
Because all of
halfway
a
on the
sudden-
Cape to Cape.
Well, what it is that your body is all of a sudden understanding what
Yep.
it is that you're doing. It's going, oh, okay, so we are doing this motion every day. We are going to pick up this pack
Yep.
and we are going to keep doing it. It gets it, so it gets on board.
Yep.
At least that's my theory. So,
I'll tell you how that theory works out. Hiking, have you been doing hiking since you were little? Like,
Yeah.
did you do it with your parents and knew you loved it, or?
I didn't do it with my parents. I spent a lot of time mucking around, riding my bike and running through the bush. We
Yep.
lived up in Kalamunda and we grew up in the bush.
Yep.
You know, we had our forts that we built
Yep.
out in the bush. So we were constantly out in the bush. And then I did the usual Girl Guides and the
Yep.
ranges, and I did a lot of hiking through there. I did my Duke Benber Award and I did
Yep.
hiking. So, that's when I really started to love it.
Yeah. I can still remember climbing Mount St. Guinea with my dad when I was young, and I think the love of hiking would definitely come from my father. But and then as you get older and you realise there's these beautiful trails and this wonderful nature all around the world,
Yeah.
which I know both of us have done international hikes, and which leads me to my next question. What would be your favourite international hike that you have done?
I have to admit, she pre-warned me on this one.
Because I know it's so hard.
It's a hard one to choose because I've done so many different countries, and we try to choose a different country each time. We have been to some countries on different trails multiple times.
Yeah.
If I was to name a country that I prefer, not so much of a hiking trail, but a country that I prefer to hike in, I'd have to say Italy.
Yep.
Italy, every time I cross over
we
the
love
border
Italy
when I'm on a
too.
trail, it's almost like I get this, we're back in Italy and I'm relaxed and it's nice. I mean, I remember crossing over the Slovenian border
Yeah.
over to Italy, and it was just, it was almost like, yes, I'm home. I'm in Italy, and
Lovely.
Italy isn't my home, but I
Yeah.
always feel at home in Italy. And
Well, they're very welcoming too of Australians. They're
They
so
are.
friendly.
and their food is
Yeah,
amazing.
I know. We're very food driven with our travels too.
Oh, I very am.
2017 was the last time I was in Italy. It's about time I got back there, I think. In fact, I think we have some friends to visit there next year. So
Yeah, Italy's a must. Yeah.
absolutely. So on the Cape to Cape, which you've done a number of times
I've done quite a few times.
and survived.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there's hope
and
for me.
survived. There is hope for you, yes. I've done it end to ends, as you know, through hikes, as they would call it.
Yep.
But also sectional. So I often
Okay.
use it as training ground before we go overseas.
Okay.
We'd go down there and just slog it out. And
So those new to hiking, a sectional hike would be when you complete only a section of a larger hike. So the Cape to Cape is from, you know, one cape to the next, but you might only do 2 days of that, and that would be considered a sectional hike. So on the bigger ones, like the Bibbulmun, and Cape to Cape is obviously much smaller, about 6 days.
I would normally recommend 7 to 8 days. I would recommend take your time and just enjoy it. You don't know if you're ever going to get the chance to be back out there again to
Yep.
experience that trail. So you know what, slow it down and just enjoy it. Get everything you can out of it.
Yeah. And enjoy the nature, you know, the beautiful weather we have at this time of year, although a little bit hot. It's not the ideal time.
It's a bit
thinking
cooler
about
south
that.
though.
Yep.
You're okay more or less on the Cape to Cape because you're further south. You quite
Good news.
often, yeah, and you can go further into the summertime down there. It's not so bad. But
Okay.
always check the weather first.
Yep.
You know, don't put yourself in a situation
Yeah.
where you are out there and there is a heat wave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't make
It's
it very
not
pleasant.
fun. Yeah.
No,
I've
we've had
walked-
40-degree days in the
Yes.
last week, and I've gone, oh, hope
Yeah.
I'm not on the trail trying to walk in this.
You don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
I've walked many a trail where the heat waves, especially in Europe when we've had heat waves unexpectedly.
Yep.
And in fact, Alps to Adria trail that we walked right near the end, the last day we called it before we did the last bit because it was just ridiculously too hot.
Yep.
We were not enjoying it. All we could think about was trying to stay cool,
Yep.
to cool ourselves down and
Safety
rehydrate.
first.
So we ended up
Yep.
saying, you know what, no, it's not worth it. So we
Yep.
finished the last day by taking a ferry ride,
Yep.
which was a better option.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think so. And then a swim in the Mediterranean.
So really, Michelle's telling me I'm going to make it,
Of course you're going to make it.
but it will be Miss B's first through hike or overnighting hike, and we're not in a hurry. So yep, I'm
Let her
really looking
enjoy
forward
it.
to it.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate to jump on walking2by2.com. This is the Cape to Cape guidebook that we will be taking on our Cape to Cape walk, making sure I don't get lost. And also the Feed the Hike, which of course is good no matter what trail you're doing. So social media handles on everything. You know, the blog, the YouTube with some fantastic real videos that you want, if you're interested in hiking and you're interested in food to take on the hike, you are going to love. So step by step, really anyone could understand it, couldn't they?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
get
Take
out
away
there.
the scared of it
Yep,
and just make it easy.
yep. And take
Yeah.
good food, good
Good
nutritional food on your hike, which is the main reason why I looked at dehydrating and found these absolutely fantastic resources. So get out there, check out, I'll put some trail website details at the end of the video because I did have trouble trying to find some real dinky dye stuff, not just GPS coordinates and where to start on some of the hikes. And thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
And,
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to report back when I return.
I'll be excited to
whether I
hear.
survived.
She'll be cursing me if she's going up the sand dunes.
Yes, I will, but and everyone else too. So yes, that will be next month. So subscribe so you don't miss any of that wonderful whinging of me climbing sand dunes. And thank you so much, Michelle.
You're very welcome.
And check her out online, walking2by2.com. Thanks very much.